All right, in this segment we're going to do absolute value inequalities. This is part 3 in your packet. So now I not only have my inequality symbol that I had in part 1, so I know I'm going to have a number line for an answer. Because the inequality symbol, I also have absolute value, which means I'm going to have a negative case and a positive case. So the first question, is the absolute value by itself on one side of the equation? Answer is yes. So I can go ahead and split it into the positive and the negative. Okay, positive case, remember we write it down exactly how you see it with no absolute value symbol. That it also includes your inequality symbol staying the same. Now for the negative case, remember, absolute value side is the same. 30 is going to change signs. But when we change the sign, we also have to change our inequality symbol. So now I have two pieces that change on the negative. Okay, then you solve. Solve just like you always do. I don't have anything to add or subtract to move to the other side. I do have a coefficient. I'm going to divide by -6. When you divide by negative, what do you do with the inequality symbol? That's right. You flip it. So now I have v less than 30 divided by -6. -5. Okay? That's half my answer. All right? So let's come over here. Same thing. Got to divide by the -6. Divide by the -6. So v, flip the symbol. Yes, that means we flipped it, and we flipped it again. It's kind of crazy. And now I get +5. So I have to put both numbers on the number line. The smallest one goes on the left, so -5 goes on the left. Biggest one goes on the right. You only have to put 2 tick marks. Don't put like 3,000 tick marks. It's annoying. Alright, so what kind of dot does -5 get? That's right, closed. So give a nice solid dot at -5. And then +5, same thing. Okay, now here's where we got to do a little bit of thinking. Alright, so with +5, which way is the arrow pointing? Okay, it's pointing to the right, so I'm just going to draw a little line right there. And then -5 is pointing to the left. So my shading goes on the outside. So it looks like 2 boat oars with my boat in the middle. So my boat's in the middle, and these are the 2 oars sticking out the side of the boat. Okay? Let's do number 8. That was number 4. I don't remember if I said that. Okay, so number 8. Is the absolute value by itself? No. Got to get rid of something. How do I get rid of the 2? Very good. We're going to subtract the 2. Move it over. Okay, so now I have absolute value x less than equal to 2. Okay, absolute value is by itself. So now I do my positive case. I do my negative case. Positive case, write the absolute value part the way it is. Write everything else the way it is. No big deal. Negative case, what do? Flip the inequality symbol, change the sign. Okay, both parts have to change. So, do I need to simplify? Solve anything? No! What a beautiful problem. It's already done. Now I just have to put my 2 numbers on my number line. Which one goes on the left? Very good. -2 comes first because it's the smaller. +2 is on the other side. Now I got to pay attention. Okay, what kind of dots? They both have a solid dot because they both have the equal to. Okay, -2 shades to the right. So draw a little arrow shading to the right. +2, it shades to the left. This means they're going to collide in the middle. It's like 2 trains having a crash right there. So I'm going to shade right in the middle of those 2 dots. And there's kind of like a sandwich. My data is sandwiched between these 2 points. So I got my bread, and here's all my meat and cheese and lettuce and tomatoes right here in the middle. It's a sandwich. Okay, let's look at number 12. The only thing that gets more complicated as you go is the simplification. Everything else is pretty much the basics over and over and over. So the question would be, what do I do first? Well, we need to get rid of the 2. The 2 on the outside of the absolute value has got to go. So we're going to add 2 to both sides. Add 2 to both sides. Okay? Done. So now I have 8, absolute value, -2v. I have my greater than, and that is 32. Well, got to get rid of the 8. Cannot distribute, cannot multiply through the absolute value. So it means divide by 8. Divide by 8. So now I have an absolute value of negative 2v greater than 4. Absolute value is by itself? Yes, absolute value is by itself. So I got my positive case and I got my negative case. Okay, positive case, we write everything the way it is. Not a big deal. Negative case, I write the absolute value the way it is. Flip my sign, inequality sign, change the sign of the number. Okay? Now, got to solve for v. So we're going to divide by that negative 2. When you divide by negative, what do you do with the inequality? Yep, you got to change your sign. Okay? So I believe 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2. So over here, doing the same thing, divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. So you got to flip the symbol. Don't forget to flip the symbol. Get positive 2. So as you can see, there's a lot of little details in these problems with signs and flipping symbols. That's where our common mistakes are made. Both of these beautiful numbers, negative 2 and positive 2, get open dots. And now I have to pay attention. Negative 2, I'm shading to the left. Make sure you get the correct arrow with the correct number. Positive 2, shading to the right. So let me put my shading in. So these look like, again, the boat oars coming out the side of the canoe. And that is it for absolute value inequality.